all the time. I'm gonna let you tell them. So welcome, please give a nice warm welcome to Andrea!
Thank you. Okay, so I will be sharing 3 poems today. My first poem I wrote a little earlier this year when I had first started dating. I know, at 22 I just started dating. So in it, I learned a lot about myself, but it also took a lot out of me. And I wrote this poem after I thought things were gonna go somewhere with a certain guy. And I wrote it because I didn't want to admit to myself at the time that I was doing all the wrong things. So this poem is called I Lie to My Friends. 3 messages, 3 people. Where are you and who are you with? Some friends from work rented a room so we could party. Some friends from school rented a room so we could party. Some friends from home rented a room so we could party. All 3 replied, you sure? Of course. Okay, be safe. I turned to him. He's only 5'4". Yet, he takes up a majority of the king-size bed, scrolling himself open, watching TV. There's no space for me to sit. I look at him. His facial hair needs a cleanup. His glasses are too big for his face. He could have dressed up a little nicer. He could have hit me up a little sooner. I lied to my friends for him, a 5'4" him. For him who only replies if I text first. For him who leaves me on red for hours at a time, but expects replies as soon as he messages. I lied to my friends for him, because they think I deserve better. Because they think I should have dropped him the first time he stood me up. Because he didn't text back, even after I gave head, even though it was my first time. I lied to my friends because I can't stand their disappointment, shame, annoyance, and overall hate I see they grow from me every time I go back. I'm going to have to lie to my friends for the rest of my life about my first time, who it was with, when it happened, how it happened. Men like this don't just come into your life. Men like that you're attracted to don't find you attractive. Por gorda y fea y por la nariz grande que tienes. I could leave. I could put this all behind me. I could never tell my friends of what almost happened. But then, he looks at me and says, so, are we gonna do this? I turn to him again. I turn off the lights, I take off my coat, and then I lie to my friends. Thank you. Okay, so for my second poem, I wrote in response to the last poem I'll be sharing, and it's kind of a reflection on different perspectives that 2 people who are really close share on similar issues. And this poem is called My Mother Hates. My mother hates when my dad is on the phone for too long. My mother hates when my dad doesn't pick her up on time. My mother hates that my dad is a stereotype of a Dominican man. My mother hates women with exaggerated bodies, whose butts are too big they knock things over, whose breasts are so large they hang, whose thighs could take down a man, whose hair is only ever a mess. I spend way too long on the phone. I am never on time to pick up anyone. I am becoming more Dominican by the minute. I have a butt that sometimes doesn't feel when someone touches it. I have breasts that touch my knees when I'm standing. I have thighs that require 1 pant size for my legs, 2 pant size smaller for my waist. I have hair that someone once thought was a witch's costume. With these flaws, my mother says she loves me. To my face, she says she loves every piece of me. And I believe her. I believe her until she sits around the table with my aunts and my cousins, laughing at the exaggerated bodies she claims the women in the Dominican Republic have. I believe her until she says she hates people who are on the phone for too long. I believe her until she says she hates people that are always late. I believe her until she says she has an overall mistrust of Dominicans. I smile and I tell her, I know, those things can be annoying. And so, I don't talk on the phone around her. I'm always 5 minutes early to pick her up. I only ever speak of El Salvador to her. I hide under clothes that give me no shade. I hide what she hates, so she'll never see that I am what she hates. My third poem is more uplifting, I swear. So for my last poem, I actually wrote after a trip to the Dominican Republic, which is where my dad's family is from. I'm half Salvadorian, half Dominican. The trip ended up being a really big source of healing for me that I didn't know I needed. I would have never thought of. My experience there and everything I learned about myself and everybody who I had ignored for so long was so uplifting. And so this last poem is called Body. They all undress in one big room, shamelessly putting their naked bodies in the open. I try not to stare, but when my sister removes her skirt, I see my white hips. I look over at my other sister. As she removes her top, I see my breast, the same exact breast. I look over to my aunt who stands unapologetically naked. I see my thighs. My body, I think, is comprised of the women who came before me. The island that I so long rejected, that for so many years I said I would never come back to, was more me than anywhere I had ever been. For the first time, I felt my value not in the way a man looked at me, but in the amazing bodies that made up these women, that make up me. My entire life, I had never seen my body in others, not in my mother, her slim figure, that women blush over, that men drool over. Not my cousins, all size 4s, who share their best clothes among each other, their mothers passing on their best dresses and shoes. My mother helped me pick out between the only 2 dresses in the plus size section of Macy's. For so long, I thought I was just different, left to be the odd one out, the one where nothing fits the right way, where it's always my fault that nothing fit the right way. But here, with my father's family, my family, I was just that, family. The way I looked made me no different than anyone else. It made me just like them. It made me them. On my island, I was represented. I lived in these women, and these women live in me. The hips my sister used to carry her children, one on each hip. The breasts my sister doesn't hide, but emphasizes, with low-cut tops and baby oil. The thighs my aunt uses to walk miles and miles to get to work. The thighs she claims carry not only her heavy frame, but her heavy attitude. Are the same hips that I carry my cousins on. Are the same breasts that get me free drinks. Are the same thighs I used to fight off my brothers. For the first time in 22 years, I finally see my body in me.